Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Scott, and we'd love to have you be part of the show today. Give us a call, please. If you have a question on your math homework, you can call us in Bakersfield. The number is 636-4357. If you're in San Luis Obispo, you can also call us. The number is toll-free, 866-636-6284. You can even email us your question, dothemath@kern.org. And of course, you can watch the show online, dothemathonline.net. And if you're into social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, we are everywhere.
I'm not sure if there are a lot of people that aren't into different social
probably
media
true.
right now. I can tell you that I'm probably one of the few that is not on all of those things, constantly tracking those things, but we're glad that you are, and we are available on all of those different outlets. Hey, we have a very busy program for you this afternoon. We have a very special guest in studio. We'll be heading out to Calm in a little bit, and as a reminder, all of the students that call in today, and we do one of your math problems on air today and next week, you will automatically receive yourself a ticket to Holiday Lights at Calm. Have you had the opportunity to go out and check that out?
Not this year, but previous years, and it's amazing.
Well, it just started.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't even know, it hasn't even started yet this year. It starts on December 1st, I think. So it's coming up. So it's a good thing you haven't been out there this year. Unless you've been volunteering to put up the lights and something. And I'd like to see that display.
Right, there you go.
Anyway, that is going to start opening up on December 1st, which is
Friday.
This
Friday. Yeah.
There you go. So a nice opening day. And well, before we get to, oh, you know what? Today is also the final day for the 5th grade call-in contest.
Right.
As of yesterday, there were 4 classrooms all tied for the lead.
Uh-oh. Today's the day.
And
Tiebreaker.
today is the day. You've got until 5:30, so you've got an hour and a half left. And I know that the tutors in the phone studio have been very busy with a lot of phone calls already this afternoon. So hopefully we'll figure out who the winner is later on, and we can announce that winning classroom next week. Before we get to all of the excitement of the afternoon, let's first take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, so I hadn't seen you since the Thanksgiving holiday. I trust you had an enjoyable one.
Always a good holiday.
Yep. A filling one as well.
A filling one as well, that's right.
Kids had fun?
Yep, definitely.
All right, there you go. Well, you know what? More food is on the menu. Bon appetit. And here we go. Do you have any idea what's on the screen there?
Street tacos?
You could say street tacos. I don't think you're going to get them served on a plate like that, but tacos indeed.
Right.
With insects.
Oh,
Crickets.
all right.
And
the untapped source of protein.
Right.
that
There
the
was
United
an
States doesn't have
article
so much.
about how you could solve a lot of the world's hunger with insects.
Sure.
Because of the protein value and things like that. But and you could, I mean, just raise them nonstop.
Right.
So I found this article and I was like, all right. So the average person will eat 1 to 2 pounds per year.
On purpose?
Not on purpose. Well, taking a look at these right here, the examples that I've got, would you eat 1 to 2 pounds of those per year on purpose?
I don't think so.
There's some that would, but right. I mean, it's just like, you know what, that's not going to happen. But if you take a look at this, 6% of cocoa beans are infested. So if you eat chocolate in some form, 6% of that those cocoa beans are infested. So you are eating insects with that chocolate.
Right.
So that's how you are going to consume them right there. Just one of the many ways. And I figured let's take a look at units of measurement, units of weight. So if you consume 2 pounds of insects per year, your body is digesting and savoring 32 ounces of what some cultures consider a delicacy. The best part is that it's all free without you even knowing it. Yum, yum, yum. So that is just a little something right there. And I wanted to convert it to ounces because 32 ounces sounds a lot better than just 2 pounds of pounds of insects right there. And that is today's Math in the News. And you know what? I mean, the thing is like I said, it's free. You don't even know you're eating it, but you are receiving
great protein.
That protein in there.
That's right. And an extra wing or two.
And there are places where you would pay top dollar for things like this.
That's right.
So,
some would pay top dollar.
That's why I said in some places it's a delicacy. Anyway, in studio with us right now we have Hamza. How are you?
Good.
Why don't you let everybody know where you go to school and what grade you're in?
I'm in grade 6 and I go to Hart Elementary.
How long have you been in Hart Elementary?
For 2 years.
For 2 years? Liking it pretty good?
Yeah, pretty
what's
good.
the best thing about 6th grade?
Well, because you're the oldest in your school.
Oh, there you go. You are the oldest in the school. That is correct. So you got to live it up this year because next year when you go to junior high, you're going to be back down at the bottom. But that's a quick turnaround. 2 years, you're out of there. All right. We're going to have you do some math work, but you know what? Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to head out to COM and visit with Marylou and see what's going on at COM.
Thanks, Mike. We have a real treat today. We are at COM with Andrew Adams, animal keeper. Hi, Andrew. How are you doing today?
Hello, good morning. I'm good.
And can you tell us exactly where we are located right now at COM?
Yeah, so we are at the Condor Exhibit right now in the north end of COM.
Okay, and how long has the Condor Exhibit been here?
Well, that exhibit is fairly new. It's opened about a year, last year.
Okay, and you are an animal keeper, correct? Is that your title?
Yes.
And what does that entitle?
So I'm an animal keeper, and I mostly take care of the raptor species here, as well as the bighorn sheep and the cats of California.
So what does that all entail?
So I manage pretty much their daily feeding and cleaning of all of those species.
Okay. Now, with the condors, it's pretty special. It's only been here for about a year, is that correct?
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about what's happening here with our condors?
All right, so these two condors here, we have 324 and 250, and these two birds are critically endangered species that we are allowed to exhibit here, and these two weren't able to be released into wild either because being too friendly or because of having an injury in 250's case.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about the condors. Back in 1987, you were telling me something about them being pulled.
Yeah, so in 1987, the wild population was only at 22 individuals, and they were pulled from the wild and placed into a captive breeding program to essentially to save the species from extinction.
So what was causing that?
So there were a number of factors causing that, poisoning from chemicals and lead, as well as from the birds eating trash. But one of the things that inhibited some of their survival is the fact that they just have a low reproductive rate, so the death rate was too high compared to their reproductive
And
rates.
then in a little bit, we are going to be talking about the growth in the population. What kind of special, now these both have been in captivity their entire lives, correct?
Yes.
And where did they come from?
So these two came to us originally from the Portland Zoo where they were housed, but before that they were bred at a facility in Boise.
Okay. What special thing do you find about them? Because you're feeding them and kind of taking care of them. What special thing do you see all the time with them?
Well, they're very interesting. They have interesting personalities. They're very large birds, and when you look at them throughout the day, they kind of communicate by changing the colors of their face, inflating or deflating their skin. So it's just very interesting to watch all the unique behaviors that they have.
I know, I was really shocked when we came around the corner. They're really quite large in comparison to the other birds. They're really big. And then there's like no fear. They were like right there and just staring at us.
Yes.
Now you were saying on 324, correct? Because they don't have names. 324, they let him out, right?
Yes.
And so they had to bring him back. Because, I mean, the story's kind of funny.
Yes, so he was released in the Tehachapi mountain range area, and he was found around Gorman because they migrate throughout the mountains, and he was found close to Gorman, and he was at a gas station bothering people, harassing them, and he had to be captured and taken out of the wild.
I can't imagine going to get gas and that coming at me to take my food out of my hands. That could have been pretty scary. Okay, so we have a lot more to talk about the birds. So when we come back, we're going to see some numbers on the growth from the 22 in 1987 to see what they are. So we're going to head back to you, Mike, at the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. Hey, just a reminder, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Phone numbers are at the bottom of your screen periodically throughout the program. Today is the final day for the 5th grade call-in contest. You've got a little bit more than an hour to get those phone calls in right now to our phone tutors. Especially, you know what? We'll go to the phones right now.
Let's do it.
Aiden, how are you this afternoon?
Yeah. What?
How are you this afternoon?
Good.
Are you in 7th or 8th grade?
7th grade.
All right, as soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
Okay. Okay. So I'm ready. Okay. So my problem is write an equation of a line that passes through the point 4, 3 and is perpendicular to the graph of the equation. Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 4.
Okay, I think I got that down there for you, Aiden. Where do you want to start with this one? First of all, what does it mean to be perpendicular?
Perpendicular means when the product of both slopes is equal to -1.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have, what is the slope of the line that you gave me, the y equals negative 1/3 x plus 4?
The slope would be -1/3.
Good for you. Gotcha. So we have that slope, and we're going to use that in our new line, right? But we're not going to use that slope. We're going to use one that's related to it. So how do you want to change that slope?
Would you change it to equal the reciprocal of 1/3?
I like what you said there, the reciprocal. Yeah, so we're going to flip it over. So that's 3/1. And then what do you do with the sign?
What?
What do you do with the sign? You said we had a negative 1/3.
The sign, you would make it positive.
Gotcha. Okay, so our new slope is +3. And you told me we had a point that we wanted to put in there, right? So the point is 4, 3. So would you like to put this in point slope form? Probably the best idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little area here for point slope form.
Okay. Oh, okay. Do you want me to say it?
And I just need you to tell me where to put things. So what I did is I put y minus blank. So we're going to put the y value in there. Uh-oh. Looks like you may have taken off.
Yeah, it sounds like it got cut off. So
That's
you
okay.
may have
So
to
we'll
just continue.
Okay. We'll do this
see if
real
we
quick.
Get them back on.
In every point we have an x and a y. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the y value right next to the y. It goes right here. So the 3 goes in that spot. We're going to put the x value right next to the x. So that goes here in this spot. And we're going to use that new slope that we found that had the opposite sign and it was the reciprocal of the old slope. We'll put that over here in this spot. All right. I hear we have Aiden back. So Aiden, what I've done so far is I put the point in where it goes and I put the slope in where it goes. And currently, if you're not looking at the program, you can listen to what I'm saying here. What we have right now is y minus 3 equals 3, parentheses, x minus 4, end the parentheses. So are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So the last question I have for you is it okay for you in your class to leave it in point slope form, or should we change it back to a form that was similar to what you gave us at the very beginning of the problem?
Change it back to similar what it looks
Okay, gotcha.
like.
So what should we do with this problem now?
Put it in the simplest form.
Yeah, we should. That's right. So you have that 3 outside the parentheses. What should we do with the 3 that's outside the x minus 4?
Distribute it to the x and the negative 4.
I like the way you're thinking. Good job. So we got 3 times x and 3 times -4. What's 3 times x?
3x.
Good. And 3 times -4?
-12.
Well done. And on the left-hand side, we still have y minus 3. Last step. Let's take care of that 3. So it's a -3. What's the opposite of -3?
+3.
Good for you. Aiden, sounds like you've done this before, man. We're going to do this on both sides. Okay. So over here, Nothing left. And it looks like we have a form that's very similar to what you started with. We have y all by itself. Then we have a 3x. And then the last thing I'd have you tell me is what's negative 12 plus 3?
Negative 9.
Well done. So now you have a new equation with a slope that's perpendicular to the first one, and we just happen to have a new y-intercept at the end. Nice work.
Thank you.
Well done, Aiden. Congratulations on that. You've also got yourself a ticket to Holiday Lights at Com. So good going on that. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 right now. We're going to go back to the phones. And you know what? Scott, I'm going to bring your coworker over there with you.
All right.
So Hamza, head on over to the board as well, because
Even a
right
pen
now
for
we've
you.
got Morgan from
Hamza's standing
Singlum
over here.
Elementary School. And how are you today, Morgan?
I'm good.
And I believe you're working on a division problem, correct?
Yes.
All right. Why don't you read it off? The guys will write it up on the board, and then we'll have Hamza help get you through that one.
Okay. So it's 1,144,932 divided by 12.
Woo, looks like a fun one. I appreciate the fact that you're controlling your excitement. That's good. What do you want to do with this one?
So first you have to start and see how many times does 12 go into 1.
Yeah, that doesn't work, huh?
But it doesn't work since 1 is smaller than 12, so you put a 0.
Okay.
So before you keep going, Hamza, because you're fine right now, Morgan, what I'd like to do is just make sure that all of the numbers up there are correct.
Yes, they are correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before you got through half the problem, and then we just started, there had to be a
Right.
5 up there or something, so.
Right.
All right. So you and Hamza will go through this together.
So then you go to the next digit which is an 11, but 12 is bigger than 11, so you're going to have to put a 0 again.
Gotcha. Morgan, you with us here? We got 2 zeros so far. We haven't done any work, but you know where we're going with this?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we got one more spot. Now we got to look at.
So now you have to look at how many times 12 goes into 114.
Gotcha. So Morgan, how many times do you think 12 goes into 114?
9.
9 times. All right, let's put the 9 up there. And then we'll have Hamza do 9 times 12. What's that?
9 times
108.
12 equals 108.
That's it. So you put that right underneath, right? Do a little tag team work here. That's good. All right, we're subtracting. So hopefully, Morgan, you're subtracting with us. 114 minus 108, what do you get?
6.
Good job. Okay, so Morgan, what's the number we're going to bring down after we have that 6? What are we bringing down?
The 4.
Yep, you got it. So go ahead and bring the 4 down. And how many times does 12 go into 64? What do you think, Hamza? How many times does 12 go into 64?
5 times.
Good job. We'll go put 5 up there. There you go. So far, so good. 5 times 12 is 60. If you run out of room, don't worry. We'll get you some more room in a minute. Good. Go ahead and go and subtract. 64 minus 60 is 4. And bring down the 9. Morgan, what do you think? How many times does 12 go into 49?
4 times.
There you go, 4 times. Okay, we're rolling through this. So the 4 goes right over the 9. And what I really like what you're doing here, Hamza, is you put the 4 right over the 9, which is what we just dropped down. Good job. Good. Okay, so we got 48, right? There's an 8 in there somewhere. Okay, go ahead and subtract.
So that equals 1.
Good.
And then you bring down the next.
Bring down the
number.
3. Morgan, how many times does 12 go into 13?
1.
1 time. So put the 1 up over there, the 3. Good. I'll just be the scroll guy for a while.
So then you.
And that'd be 12, right? Good job. We got 1 more left. 13 minus 12 is 1. Morgan, what's the last number we're bringing down?
The 2.
The 2 is at the very end, right?
Yep.
All the way to the bottom. So, oh, the arrow had to keep going further. There you go. How many times does 12 go into 12?
Once.
1 time.
Good.
And then you get
And no
0.
remainder. So let's don't forget to put that 1 way up at the top. Now, Morgan, if you wanted to check this answer, just tell me what you would do. You don't have to do it with us on air, but tell us what you would do to make sure that this answer is absolutely correct.
You would multiply 95,411 by 12.
And hopefully the answer would be?
1,144,932.
Well done, just like that. Hamza, great job. I like that problem.
There you go. Nice teamwork right
Dual
there as
effort.
well, and nicely read with the correct verbiage and everything right there. Nicely done. So congratulations to you as well, Morgan. You will also be sent a ticket to Holiday Lights at Com, so we hope you have an opportunity to go out and enjoy those lights. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Today is the final day for the 5th grade calling contest, and as a matter of fact, I think we have a 5th grader online right now. Tarmin, how are you this afternoon?
Oh, good.
And you're a student at what school?
Bill L. Williams.
All right, Bill L. Williams, home of the Pioneers. Let's hear the math problem as soon as you're ready.
Okay. All right, here's the math problem. A coffee shop uses 4 liters of milk every day. If there are 15 liters of milk in the refrigerator, after how many days will more milk need to be purchased? Explain how you know. And there's a part B to this. If only half of the milk is used each day, after how many days will more milk need to be purchased?
Wow, that's quite a question. Okay, let's make sure that we're clear here on what's going on. It says that they use 4 liters of milk per day. Is that right?
A coffee shop.
A coffee shop. Gotcha. And currently there are 15 liters of milk in the refrigerator. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the very last part, I wasn't quite sure about the half a liter. Can you tell me about that again?
And the last part of the part A is how many days will more milk need to be purchased? Explain
Gotcha.
how
Okay,
you know.
so we'll take care of that part first. Hamza, what do you think? What can we do with this problem here? How many days is this 15 liters of milk going to last at the coffee shop?
You're gonna have to divide.
Okay, let's do that. We just got through doing one. This will be a little bit quicker though, huh? There you go.
So it'll be 4, which is the
Parents
amount of
engaged in
liters,
New York,
divided by
module 4,
15,
lesson
which is the amount of milk in the fridge.
Right?
So you put a 0 because 4 doesn't go into 1,
Right?
and 4 goes into 15 3 times.
Okay, so tell me about the 3. Is that how many days or how many liters are left over, or what do we have there?
Well, that's how many days, because there's 4 per day.
Gotcha.
But there's still a remainder.
Okay,
2.
so after 4 days, we would use 12 liters, right? So we have a little bit left. Ah, look at that, you even found out how much there's left.
Yeah.
So far, we have a remainder of 3. So the big question is, are those 3 liters going to get us through another day? Probably not so much, huh? So it looks like we can last 3 full days, and we better reorder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there was a second part of the question?
And the second part is, if only half as much milk is used each day, after how many days will more milk need to be purchased?
Gotcha. So I think that's what we had there. We had 3 days, right? We had 3 days, full days, and then we'd probably have to reorder on that 3rd day so that the next day we wouldn't run out. I think we're okay with that part. Okay?
And for the second part,
Oh, we have one more part. That's what I thought.
and in part B, if only half as much milk is used each day, after how many days will more milk need to be purchased?
Gotcha. Okay, so I understand now. So do you understand what the question is now? We're going to take
Yes.
this amount, right, and we're going to cut it in half. So Hamza, what's half of 4?
2.
2. You got it. So now we're going to use 2 liters of milk per day. How does that change the problem?
So instead of dividing by
Yeah,
4,
so
you
then
divide
it's
by
going to be
2.
divided by
because you're using
15.
less milk per day, so it's going to last more days. And the answer is going to be more than 3.
Yep, sounds good. So I like what you said there too. The answer we know for sure is going to be more than 3, right? Because we're using less milk.
So 2 doesn't go into 1, but 2 does go into
Yeah,
15.
so I did 2 divided by 15, and I ended up with 7 and remainder 1.
Yep. Remainder 1. What was the answer that you got? Tarman, what did you get? I heard you got a remainder of 1, but what was the number of days? Like I said, Hamza got 7, so that's good. We got 7 days. So it looks like we over doubled the days that it would last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got to make that 7 a good one. So if you cut your milk in half, seems like it would just double, but in this case, it actually more than doubles the time. So you won't have to order for 7 days. Nice question. I'm glad you called with that one.
Nicely done, Tarman, and congratulations to you as well. We'll also be going out to Holiday Lights at Com, so congratulations on that. Nice that you worked out that problem, because a lot of students would see, all right, it's going to take 3 days and then we'll need to order it again. But if you only use half, well, we're going to go 6.
Right.
But you can see you can't just double it. It's going to last more than 6. It would last the 7 days.
Yep.
So nice work there on Hamza's part along with Tarman. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon. Don't forget, today is the final day for the 5th grade calling contest. Also, if you phone in from San Luis Obispo County, we do one of your math problems on air. You'll automatically receive yourself ice cream, courtesy of our friends at Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab. Right now, back to the phones, and I do believe we have another student from Williams Elementary. Hannah, how are you this afternoon?
Hello.
Are you in 5th grade as well?
Yes.
All right, as soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
It was, Liza lives on the 9th floor of a building. There are 36 stairs between 2 connecting floors. How many stairs does Liza have to climb to reach the 9th floor, starting from the 1st floor?
Okay, so let's make sure that we're correct in our information here. It sounds to me like we have 36 stairs per floor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and she lives on the 9th floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting from the 1st floor. We don't have any
Yeah.
stairs there, right? So we don't have to worry about that part. How many floors do we actually have to climb?
8 floors.
8 floors.
Can you higher the volume? I can't hear.
Sure. Or maybe you could turn up your volume as well on your phone.
Yeah, I did.
There you go. So we were just having this conversation about the fact that when you're going, if you were going from 0 to 1, you'd have some stairs, right? But we don't have to do that. We're starting on the 1st floor. So Hamza just told me that he thinks that there's only 8 sets of stairs that we have to go through. Can you tell me if that makes sense to you? Does that make sense? We only have 8 sets of stairs to worry about?
What was that?
We only have 8 sets of stairs to worry about to get to the 9th floor.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to get to the 1st floor, we're already there. So what kind of problem are we working with here? Are we doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division?
Multiplication.
You got it. Can you set that problem up for us? Let's do some multiplication here.
So it's 30.
What was that?
Hamza's going to help us set up this problem here. He's got 36, and he's going to multiply that times 9, right?
8.
Yeah.
Oh, times 8. You're right. Glad you fixed it.
Hamza, it's a good thing you're over there.
That's right.
Keep
You know
an
the
eye
help
on
I can
things.
get these days.
So first you have to do like the first part of the problem, which is 8 times 6,
Okay?
which equals 42, and you put the 2 down here and carry the 4.
Okay, so the good thing is you helped me, and now I'm going to help you. Try 8 times 6 one more time. You can keep the 4 there, but what's 8 times 6?
What was that?
Think in your head. What's 8 times 6? You can help us out.
Oh yeah, 48.
48, there you go. So we'll put an 8 down. There you go. That's why we have a little teamwork. But you can keep the 4 there. That's good.
So then you do 8 times 3, which is 24, and then you add the 4.
Good.
So you put 28 down here.
Good.
Did you see something?
288.
288
So
what?
the
288 stairs.
Stairs, that's right. So Hannah, I don't know if you're working on this one at home, but I'm wondering if you got the same thing. When you multiplied 36 times 8, did you also get 288?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Correct.
All right. Well, look, if you got it there and we got it here, we're pretty darn close to being right. Nice job. Good work on that one.
Nicely done right there, Hannah. And continuing to tally up those calls for the 5th
That's
graders.
right.
And
Setting a record
you know
today.
what? We'll take a look at the end of today. We'll find out which 5th grade class called in the most during the month of November. And we will be heading out to one of those 5th grade classrooms sometime in the next week or two. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We'll be back with more right after this. Today we're at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, and today we're here to Today we're at Jefferson Middle School, and I've got Travis with me. How are you?
Good.
You ready? Let's go. We're going to subtract some mixed numbers. So, what's the first thing we need to do?
To make sure they are in improper fraction.
Okay, so you want to turn them into improper fractions? All right, we can do that. Go ahead.
So the first thing you're going to do is multiply 12 by 4 equals 4.
So you're going 12 times 4, right?
48 and plus 3 to 12 is 15.
Well, 4 times 12 is
48.
48 plus 3. There you go. You had the right numbers, just reverse, right? There you go. 51.
And then do the same thing. So 54.
So 54, and then 55, 54. That's good. So now what would you like to do?
Multiply both of them by each number, the denominator.
So you want to get a least common denominator for 48 and 54? That's going to be a large number, isn't it?
So multiply 48. 15,392.
Fast with calculations and using the diamond. So for the students that are watching, what Travis is doing is cross multiplying. He went 51 times 54, now doing 55 times 48.
So now we subtract.
So you subtract those. And we could leave it like that, but what are you trying to do now?
We simplify it.
To simplify it. So that's going to be another large number to deal with, right? So let's write this over there. There we go. All right, so we'll get rid of this. And for some of the students watching, what we'll do is we'll do it another way also. Okay? So what you did is you turned these into improper fractions and then got the least common denominator. All right? So let's see if we can turn these into common denominators first. And we'll leave it as a mixed number. So if I did 12 and 3/4, that's going to turn into something, and then we're going to subtract 9 and 1/6. Okay? So what common denominator can we use here between 4 and 6?
12.
12. So let's turn them both into 12s. Yep, 12 on the denominator. There you go. So if this went from 4 to 12, this is going to go from 3 to
9.
9. And this is going to become a 12 now. And that top number numerator is a 2. Okay? So now we have 12 and 9/12 minus 9 and 2/12. So can we go ahead and do this now?
Yeah.
Three and 7/12, right? So just a little bit easier, another method of doing it, right? So that way you simplified it. Travis, nice work, dude. And again, we had a wonderful afternoon out at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, so thank you to those guys and all of the staff and students out at that school. Phone tutors are available until 5:30. Hot and heavy on the 5th grade calling contest going on right now. A lot of students calling in. A lot of students calling in from the top schools as well. However, remember, if you see somebody calling in And it might be the same school as yours. It may not be the same instructor as yours. Remember, we're not going to the school. We're going to the room that calls in the most. So you need to get a hold of all your classmates and go, hey, listen, if you haven't called yet, get in there. I know we got a test coming up or we're reviewing things and things like that. That's exactly what we're here for. Hamza is going to get back to work in a little bit, but first we're going to go out to Com and visit with Marylou.
Thanks, Mike. We are back at the California Living Museum with Andrew Adams, an animal keeper here at CALM, and we are in the Condor section. And now we were talking about their numbers because they're not named. And this one, this guy, he's like my favorite. He's just like watching us the whole time. And his number's 324. Can you, Andrew, tell us a little bit more what that signifies? Why do they not have names?
Only very special individuals in the program have names, some of the founding members, but these particular ones, the number signifies a stud book number. So you see the number 24, and then the color corresponds with the 100th digit. So he would be number 324, and then the other one doesn't have his wing tag on because he's non-flighted. So he wouldn't, those tags are used to help the biologists and the people tracking them see them better in the air.
Okay, and you were talking a little bit about the number, there's a special name for that. What was that called again?
Yeah, so the numbers, 324 would be, and 250, that would be their stud book numbers. And that's a numbering system that is used for the captive breeding program. And they're assigned those numbers, and then their lineages are carefully tracked. And the reason that we have two males here that they're not part of the captive breeding program anymore is because they're overrepresented. So they're overrepresented genetically.
Okay, so they're not going to be breeding anymore.
Correct.
Okay, and then that little guy over there, or big guy I should say, he's the one that he doesn't have a number because he's injured, correct?
Yes.
So
he wouldn't be able to fly anymore, so he doesn't have the wing tag currently.
Okay, so we were talking about back in 1987, they pulled in 22 birds. And you have some numbers for us, right?
Yes.
What it looks like now. What are the numbers now? Can we see?
Sure. So now we have the total population for 2016 is 446, and the wild population is 276, and the captive population is 170.
Wow, just looking at this, and obviously you said that this was from last year.
Yes.
So now this year when they do the numbers, there'll be a lot more, right?
Correct.
Okay, but that's just total population, 446. That's pretty amazing. When you think about that, my students at my school, we have like 700 kids at our school. That's not even there. That's, that's like a very small elementary school. That's quite a small for a world population. Wow. Now let's kind of talk about their food. How different is the condors versus the bald eagles? Now the bald eagles, if we could see, he's like right there. He's next to them. How different is their feedings?
Their feedings are a little bit different because the condors will sometimes get a carcass feed. That's beneficial for them. So their food's not specifically measured as much as, say, the bald eagles would to track their weight.
Okay, now is the food the same though, or is it different types?
They all eat different types of meat. The condor will pretty much eat any type of meat. We give him sometimes whole carcasses of maybe calves or goats, as well as rats and chicken and other types of meat.
Calves and goats that big?
Sometimes.
Wow. And then what about the bald eagle?
Bald eagle eats similar, but also more fish in the diet.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. Now you were saying that sometimes you only feed them once a week.
Yeah, sometimes we offer them food. Usually every day with a fast day during the week, but this time of year we're working on training them to go into a small area so they can go about a week or even 2 weeks without eating. If they don't go into their area to lock up, then we'll pull the diet until they cooperate.
So is that the area right there?
Yes.
So you're training them to go in there to
Yes, we have to train them to go in there for management purposes. Once a year they have to have a physical exam. check the tag and give them a West Nile vaccine.
Okay. Now, with the bald eagle, feed him daily.
Yes, on the same schedule, they'll have 1 day per week where they fast.
Okay, wow, really interesting how the difference is. And you have to keep a schedule, don't you, on all these birds and their feeding habits and all that?
Yeah, we monitor that closely because with the animals, sometimes they're very good at masking being injured or illnesses, but one of the ways that you can maybe see that something might be wrong is if they're not eating or they're leaving more leftovers. That could be an indicator. So we monitor that very closely.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to talk more about the condors and also volunteering here at COM. So we're going to send it back to the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. Always a great time whenever we've had the opportunity to go out to COM and visit with the animals. There's always the standby animals, you know, they're always there, you know, and you kind of get used to them always being there and seeing how they're progressing, but there are always new things going on at COM on a regular basis. Right now, we're going to go back to the phones, and are you ready? I know you had a break, but now you're going to get to work again. You ready? All right, here we go. We're going to, right now, Aubrey, how are you today?
Good.
And you're a 5th grade student as well, correct?
Yes.
All right, do me a favor and turn down the volume on your TV set.
Huh?
On the TV set, if you could turn the volume down, and then just listen to us over the phone, it'll be a little bit easier. It sounded like there was a little feedback there for a second.
Oh, sorry.
That's not a problem. As soon as you're ready, go ahead and read that math problem to us.
Okay. A coffee shop uses 4 liters of milk every day. If there are 15 liters of milk in the refrigerator, after how many days will more milk need to be purchased?
Sounds awfully familiar. Yep, I was kind of excited about that too. So, you want to take us through this problem? You know exactly what's going to happen, right? 4 liters of milk per day, and we have 15 liters of milk in the fridge.
So you have to divide 4.
Yeah.
You have to divide 4 by 15.
Uh-huh.
Since there's 15 liters of milk, and they spend 4 liters of milk per day.
So wouldn't it be 4 divided by 15?
Yeah, actually we're doing 15 divided by 4, but I'm glad you're with us there, Aubrey. That's exactly right. You got it. So 15 divided by 4, and what are we going to get up with that?
Well, you can't divide
3 remainder
4 into
3.
1.
I like it. Yeah, she's one step ahead of you. So what do you think? 15 divided by 4 is?
It's
15
3.
divided by 4 is 3.
Good.
With
And a remainder of 3, right? So Aubrey, tell us, what does that remainder mean? Can we use that 3 liters of milk that's left over? I mean, the milk didn't go bad, right?
Yeah.
But it won't quite get us through the day. So if you're going to have to reorder some of this milk, you probably better do it on day 3, because you're not going to get through day 4. Won't work out very well.
Yeah.
Do you have a second part to that problem there, Aubrey?
Huh?
Do you have a second part to that problem, part B?
Yes.
What's the second part, Aubrey? Go ahead. What do you got?
If only half as much milk is used each day, after how many days will more milk need to be purchased?
So what we want to do, right, is half of 4 liters per day. So instead of 4 on the outside of 15, what are we going to use instead?
2.
You got it. Let me give you a little room, and you can show us what's going to happen here.
So you divide. So instead of dividing 15 by 4, you divide 15 divide by 2.
Good.
2 can't go into 1, so you put a 0.
Uh-huh.
And 2 goes into 15 7 times.
Good.
And you get 14. Subtract, and you get 1. So it's
So we
7.
only have 1 left over.
So it's 7 remainder 1.
Yep. Looks like you better reorder on day number 7 there, Aubrey. I think that's not going to quite get us to day number 8. Good question. I'm glad you asked that one.
Nicely done, and congratulations, Aubrey. You will also be receiving some tickets to go see Holiday Lights at COM, so we hope you have an opportunity to go do that. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. As I said, the 5th grade call-in contest is going and rolling, and you've got 45 minutes left on that, and we've got quite an array of schools calling in right now trying to get in the last couple of calls. But right now, we'll go back to the phones, and Courtney, how are you this afternoon? Hello, Courtney.
Hello.
And are you in 5th grade?
Yes.
All right. As soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I also have a part B to it.
So let's hear part A.
Okay. So, Jackie cut a 2-yard spool into 5 equal lengths of ribbon.
5 equal lengths. And how long was it?
2 yards.
2 yards. I missed that part. Thank you. Okay, what's the question?
What is the length of each ribbon in yards?
In yards. Okay, so we don't even have to change this up into feet or inches or anything. We're just going to do it in yards. So what's going to happen here on this problem?
What was the question?
The question is, we have 2 yards, right?
Yeah.
And we have 5 equal lengths that we want to cut it up into.
Okay.
Okay?
So what you have to do is 2 divided by 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's going to be interesting, huh?
But the problem is you can't divide. 5 is more than 2, so you can't divide it.
Right.
So what you're gonna have to do is just put a point and then a 0.
Okay, because we have a decimal there. Now, where's the decimal going to be in your answer?
It's gonna be right on top.
Yeah, bring it right up there. I like how you did that. It's always good to do before you put the numbers in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you put a 0 here because
Mhm.
5 doesn't go into 2, and then you do 5 divided by 20, which equals 4.
Good.
So there's 0.4 yards.
And there's no remainder at all on that?
Yeah,
Go ahead and show us why there's no remainder.
because there's 20.
Yeah, there you go.
Subtract and you get
No
0.
remainder. So if the question really is asking about how many yards, we have 0.4 yards. Be nice to know how many inches it is, but if it doesn't ask that one, we don't have to worry about that part too much. 0.4 yards. Courtney, what do you think about that? Does that work out for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other part to that question?
Yeah. Part B was, what is the length of each ribbon in feet?
Oh, in feet.
And
Gotcha.
it says to draw a tape diagram.
Ah, okay. So I like to draw this diagram. Here we go. Here's our 2 yards, right? So we have 0, 1, and 2. And what happened is we cut up into 5 different pieces, right? So
Yeah.
you told me it was 0.4 per piece. So I'm going to go ahead and change over here to green, see if that works out okay. And so what happened was this was 0.4, and this was 0.4, and this was 0.4. We have 0.4 here and 0.4 here. So we got 5 pieces and they're all equal. But we would like to know how many feet that is. Where do you want to go with that problem?
So how you figure that out is, wait, is it feet per the pieces?
Yeah. Well, first of all, how many feet are in a yard?
Well, there's 3 feet in a yard, and there's
Gotcha.
2 feet.
So what about 2 yards? How many feet would that be?
6 feet.
Good job. So that's 6 feet. Right? So we do the same problem except for use a 6 instead of a 2. Would that be all right?
Yeah,
I'll give you a little bit of room here.
So instead of dividing by 2, you divide by 6.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, good deal.
And so 5 divided by 6 equals 1,
Mm-hmm.
with a remainder of 1.
Okay, let me give you a little room here. And then you want to keep going because we would rather not have a remainder here, huh?
And so you get you put a decimal point
Yeah,
and then a 0, and you bring it down.
good.
And then how many times it is 5 going to 10? Well, 2 times. And
Gotcha.
you put the decimal point up there.
I was going to ask you about that because we always like to have that decimal in there, right? So,
So-
before we had 0.4 yards, now we have 1.2
2 feet.
feet. Make sure we label those things so we know exactly what's going on there. Wonderful job. So now we have yards and feet. Is that the last part of your problem there, Courtney?
Yes.
Okay, well, I hope we did a good job there for you.
Hamza did indeed. Nicely done. Erase the board, boys, because I'm going to give you about 150 seconds to solve this problem. Here you go. Scott, I'm going to have you write this problem down.
Okay.
Hamza, you're going to solve it. 6x plus 3, open parentheses, x plus 7, close parentheses, equals negative 15. Hamza, get to work.
Off you go.
So first you have to get rid of the parentheses and you multiply. So when you multiply 3 times x, that equals 3x. And then you multiply 3 times 7, which is 21, and it's positive, so you put a plus.
Good.
and then you just bring this part down,
Good job.
and it equals, you take the negative 15 part
Good
too.
job. I'm going to go ahead and keep that plus sign in there for you as well, okay? What's next?
What you have to do next is combine like terms.
Good.
So this 6x and 3x, you can combine them to get 9x.
Mm-hmm.
So 9x plus 21 equals negative 15.
Good for you.
And you need to get rid of this 21 because it's in the way. So what you have to do is subtract 21 from both sides.
Good idea.
So this would
So that goes away, huh? We'll
Yeah,
make that go away. And
this
what do you got
will
left
go
over there?
9x.
Good.
So that would be 9x equals negative 36.
Now, I'm glad you added those together because they have the same sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And last step, to give you a little room.
The last step is you have to divide by 9, both
Good.
sides by 9. So you get the x to just like 1x.
Yep.
So that means that x equals 4.
Gotcha. And what about the sign on that one? What's negative 36 divided by 9?
Negative 36 divided by 9 is
Negative 4. There you go. And if you had to check it, show me in the very beginning where you would put that negative 4 to check it.
So you'd put the negative 4 right here,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd put the negative 4 right here.
And when you figure out this whole left side, we're hoping that the answer is negative 15, right?
Yep.
That was pretty good timing. Well done.
Nicely done, under the gun, and got it done.
We got it.
Hamza, nice work over there. Hey, you know what? I'm glad that you had to check and say, all right, when you divide a negative by a positive, it is a negative, because a lot of students will do exactly like you did, go all through that, come out with x equals 4 and go, I did it, I'm pretty good, I didn't, you know,
Yeah.
they're not going to check it. But it's also important to remember that sign, so it is negative 4. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. That means you've got about 40 minutes left for the 5th grade call-in contest. We're going to go out one more time to come and visit with Marylou.
Thanks, Mike. We are back at the California Living Museum with Andrew, an animal keeper here, and we just left the condors, and we've been talking about these beautiful bald eagles, as you could see behind us. Can you give us a little history about them? Because the condors are both male, correct?
Yes.
And these are both female.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the history behind that?
So these two birds, their names are Spirit and Lassen, and they've been here for close to 20 years. The two birds there are probably about 28 or 29 years old. And Spirit is missing an eye. She can fly, but because she's missing the right eye, she might have trouble with depth perception and was non-releasable. And then Lassen, unfortunately, has partial amputation to the wing. She had a gunshot injury, and part of her wing had to be amputated.
Was that before you got her here?
Yeah, so they came in with the injuries.
And so, and they've been here almost 30 years.
Probably about 20 years or so for both of them.
How old, do you guys know how old they were prior to that?
They were young adults, maybe 6 or so years old.
How long do they live?
They might be able to live up to 40.
What about the condors?
We don't really know. There are condors that are over 60 in captivity at the LA Zoo.
Oh, wow. Now, you said their feeding is the fish, correct? More fish?
Yeah, so the bald eagle is a fishing eagle. They like to eat a lot of fish. You've probably seen videos of them swooping down in the lakes and pulling fish, but they'll eat other things too, even things like squirrels on the side of the road and things like that. But they like a lot of fish.
They are really pretty, especially if they're up there up on that perch. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about your position. What brought you here?
Well, I've always liked animals from a young age, and I started volunteering here about 13 years ago. And then I was able to get a part-time job and work part-time for a year, and then I was qualified for the full-time position.
What made you qualified? Did you have to go to college or take any classes?
That's one of the requirements for my position, but because I had experience from volunteering and from working for over a year, I was qualified.
So you're obviously from Bakersfield then, correct?
Yes.
So as a kid, you came here and started helping out.
Yeah, I visited as a child and really liked the facility, and then when I was a little bit older, teenager, I volunteered here.
Where did you start as a volunteer?
I started working in the children's park with the goats and the sheep and cleaning up after them.
And after that, where did you move on to?
After that, it's been a long time. I don't remember exactly all the places, but probably I do remember working with the some of the educational birds, some of our ambassador birds.
What was your favorite thing when you volunteered to do?
I liked to work with the birds, but also just interact with some of the animals. I like all the animals, even the donkey and the donkeys and the little horse, all of them.
That's pretty amazing. I've been out here a couple years, and I think you're the first person I've met that has volunteered as a teenager and then continued and is working here now. If somebody was interested in coming here and working here, what would you suggest to them? What path would they need to take?
If they're interested in volunteering, or?
Well, first volunteering.
So volunteering, the requirements are, if you're 13 to 16, you volunteer with an adult, and then from 16 and up, fill out a volunteer application.
And just come on out.
Yes.
Is it usually weekends, after schools?
Anytime.
Wow. Okay.
From normal zoo hours, which would be 9 to 4.
Now, working here, what path would they need to take if they wanted to be employed here?
Well, for zookeeping, it's actually a pretty competitive field. So I got lucky in that I was able to obtain a position without finishing my degree. But there are a lot of people that we've seen that have had higher educational degrees, bachelor's or even master's. So that would be a good place to start as far as majoring in zoology, biology, and even for some positions, psychology, because we work with training animals as well. So animal behavior is a path you could take as well.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. And I want to give you this. This is a big thank you from us for coming, allowing us to come out here and taking your time and walking us around and showing the condors and these beautiful bald eagles. And again, thank you, Andrew, so much.
You.
And so that's it from COM today, and we're going to send it back to you at the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. And we've been giving out a lot of holiday tickets to Holiday Lights at COM. We will be doing that as well again next week, both on Tuesday and Wednesday. The 5th grade calling contest will end in about 35 minutes from now. We'd like to thank Hamza for coming in, doing an awful lot of outstanding mathematical work this afternoon. Did you have fun?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good.
A lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. You know what? You are an ambassador for Do the Math now, which means you have to tell everybody you come in contact with about Do the Math. Can you do that?
Okay.
Spread it far and wide, brother. Spread it far and wide. Right now, what I need you to do is reach in here, and we're going to find out from all of the students that phoned in who is going to be receiving tickets to CSUB athletics, any athletic event of their choice from California State University, Bakersfield. And that winner is, who have you got?
Avery.
Aubrey, there you go. I think one of our
Aubrey.
first callers. So congratulations to Aubrey, a student at Williams Elementary. So congratulations on that. Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.